All right, everybody. So before we jump into this video, I just want to apologize real quickly that this video took so long to get out. Frankly, I think I've talked about my new role at work. It has just been incredibly busy. We've had a lot of family stuff going on as well, plus vacations and trips and stuff like that. And frankly, I just haven't had the time. Also, in this video, there were some audio issues that I had to go back in and essentially re-record all of the audio, which you'll hear later on. That being said, finally getting the campground tour of Sun Outdoors Lake Rudolph. So enjoy. Hello everybody, I don't know if you can hear me with the wind noise, but welcome back to the channel. We are currently at Sun Outdoors Lake Rudolph in Santa Claus, Indiana. We come here every year. I've really never done a video about this place, so I figured while we're here I'd go ahead and take the rented golf cart that we got and do a little campground tour. So we're just pulling up to the front gate now, so I'm going to turn around and we will get started. All right, everybody, at this point the audio did kind of cut out here and with the wind noise, so I'm gonna go ahead and narrate this. So coming down here, this is the main gate. It is a little bit tight when you're coming down there pulling a rig behind you. It's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a little tight. We did rent a golf cart on this trip. It was a bit expensive. It wasn't terrible, honestly. But I'll be honest with you, we kind of went back and forth as to whether or not we should rent one. They get kind of annoying just because of, well, there's so many of them and they do a tour and they just kind of get in the way. But I will say it is very, very quite handy when you're camping there. Coming up here, we see a pavilion where they do a lot of activities with the kids. There's also like a small camp store. And as you'll see when we come around the other side, there's also playgrounds and basketball courts, stuff like that. These sites up here at the top, they're not exactly even by any stretch of the imagination, but I have stayed up there. They're not terrible. Can be a little bit difficult to get into, but the sites do get a little bit better as you get closer or further down this hill. But is in front of us off to the right there, you can actually see the parking lot for Holiday World. They do also offer tent camping here as well, any site, but yeah. In front of us there, you can see the Lake Rudolph. Honestly, I don't know if there's any kind of fishing or anything there, but there is a kid fishing over there now, so maybe there are. You can also rent pedal boats. I'm not sure if you can take kayaks or anything like that. Some of these sites over here are pretty cool. I imagine you might have some bug issues, but yeah. So this is coming up the bottom side of that pavilion I mentioned earlier. You can see it kind of off to the right, off to the left there. They also have gem mining. There's also a putt-putt course, which you'll be able to see here in a minute. But yeah, they do have a lot of arts and crafts up there for the kids, depending on the day. But it's pretty consistent about every day. Alright, right there in front of us is the putt-putt course. We still have not gone to this putt-putt course, but looks really nice. There are a few additional RV sites up here near the camp store. There is also laundry off to the left there. Off to the right here is a relatively new section of the campground. I don't know how new it is, but I don't recall it being there. And like I said, we've used to go to this place pretty much every year, and I don't remember this ever being here. These sites do appear to be a mixture of both gravel and paved. They look, again, to be full hookups. So yeah, these look like pretty nice sites up here. Alright, when we go around this bend here, you're going to get the first view of the cabins that they also offer. Now, they offer, I think, like close to 400 of these. There are a bunch of these different cabins, and you'll see different views of them later on. Here is my brother's cabin that he stayed in. As you can see, it's got a nice pull-out couch, nice semi-private master bedroom, as well as when I turn around here, a lot of closet space. Pretty decent sized kitchen. Refrigerator. Here is the bathroom with a nice stand-up shower. And over here you're going to see a bunk room here in just a moment. And there's the bunk room. Again, big bunks, big bunks. And again, more storage there in the closet. Alright, these are some additional sites, again, up from those cabins. This is the older section of the park, so these are not super flat or anything like that. They are mostly gravel. There's a trail also that we just passed that goes down from the lower area. It goes down to the lower area of the campground and vice versa. Alright, now we're going to go back out to the main drag here. Alright. And there, you can see the RV sites lining both sides of the road. All of these sites are pretty much the same. It does appear there is a nice bathhouse over there though. And again, you'll see some additional, this is primarily the tent camping area. I don't usually see a whole lot of RVs in this particular area. Now we're heading down the hill. Now this is actually a pretty steep hill. You can't really see it in the video, but it is pretty steep. Going down it when you're towing an RV can be kind of difficult, especially because of what I mentioned earlier with the golf carts. They don't drive very fast, but they do have a 12-mile-per-hour speed limit coming down this road, which is such an odd number. The golf carts, if you do decide to rent one, they are governed. So as I'm going down this hill, I actually have it floored, and I'm not going very fast. Now, that trail that I mentioned earlier, right there is where it comes out, and we're driving over the creek. Now, we're going to kick off to the right, and we'll see some of the other sites over here. These sites over here are right along the creek. Again, maybe you have some issues with bugs, but however, you're going to get a lot of shade down here. It is also pretty close to Holiday World, so it may also be loud. That being said, not that big a deal, but these are some nice sites. All, again, mostly paved, and almost all of their sites are full hookups. Not all of them, but most. Now, right in front of us here, you can't really see it all that well, but you can actually see the Voyage from Holiday World right there in front of us, and kind of peeking off to the left over here, you can also see parts of Splash and Safari. These sites down here in this section, there's hardly any shade, but most of them are pull-through sites, which is very nice. They can handle very big rigs. Again, we're just going around this section here. Again, quite large sites, can handle very big rigs, mostly pull through, which is nice. Now we're going to go up into the upper section of the campground slash cabin area, I guess. There's another one of the cabins there in front of us. All right, now heading up this hill here. It does seem as if this particular campground has kind of moved away from RV camping and moved more towards the cabins thing. They still have plenty of RV sites, so don't get me wrong, but it does seem like they have moved a lot more towards the cabins as opposed to RV sites. From what I've gathered, most of these cabins here are at least 2 bedrooms. But I don't honestly know for sure. I haven't looked into it all that much, and until Travis stayed in one this year, I'd never actually been in one. There is a weird random Pepsi machine right off the side of the road there. I don't really know why, but every time I drove by it, I just kind of chuckled to myself. As you can see, there's just the absolute sheer number of cabins that they have in this place is amazing. If you're not an RVer though, you can still come to a place like this. That road off to the right just has more cabins. We didn't decide to go back there because once you've seen them all, there's just a lot of... Yeah, and they do have shuttle stops if you are going to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. If you are back that road, while they're nice cabins, you are very far from the shuttle stop, so not an ideal situation. As a matter of fact, speaking of those shuttle stops, right here coming up in front of us, you can see one of those shuttle stops. They run roughly, they say it's every 10 minutes. I feel like it's probably slightly longer than that, but it's a free service. You ride the shuttle to and from however many times you need to. Now we're going to go down into this bottom section here, and I really want you guys to see these cabins because some of these cabins are absolutely humongous. I want to rephrase that. Now, these cabins, the cabins themselves aren't that big, but the decks are absolutely humongous on some of these. So it's one of those places you could stay and have a family reunion or something like that, and you would have plenty of space for entertaining. Now, one nice thing about having the golf cart is at this campground, it's really difficult to kind of do some exploring, but with the golf cart, we can drive around and actually see parts of the campground that we've never seen before, which is kind of nice because just walking this would be, well, frankly, it would take forever. Now, one thing that people don't oftentimes realize is that Lake Rudolph is actually not really affiliated with Holiday World. They're kind of partners, I guess, but they're not actually affiliated with each other. They are independently owned by Sun Outdoors. In a moment, when I turn left here, you'll see another section of all pull-through sites. Again, kind of the similar issue where there are very little shade, but very, very nice sites, and give you the opportunity to actually face each other if you're camping with multiple people, multiple groups of people. However, like I said, they are pretty expensive. There's not a whole lot of shade, which I personally enjoy. As you can see there, that is another one of those shuttle stops. You'll see another one here in a bit, but we're going to go ahead and dive down over this hill here and see some of the additional RV sites down here. One other thing, these cabins down in here, I talked about the large decks on some of the cabins earlier. These all have humongous decks, which is, again, awesome for family reunions, big groups, stuff like that. I do want to let you know that Sun Outdoors is not paying me to say any of this. This is completely my own invention. They're not sponsoring me yet. Now, some of these cabins are handicap accessible as well. You saw that one over there had the ramp going up there. So not all of them are handicap accessible, but a lot of them are. Down here, most of these sites down here are going to be paved. Again, not all of them, but they're all pretty flat. We have some more campsites over here. There is also that building has laundry and a vending over there. Now that RV where that guy's currently backing in, that is actually my favorite site we've ever stayed at there. The site is amazing. It's really super deep. The fire pit is back behind the camper, kind of surrounded by trees. Really cool site. I wish I could have gotten some video of it. However, with that guy backing in, he actually backed into a tree right as we pulled up, and I didn't want to do that. But we do have some more tent camping, again down by the creek, down towards the bottom. That site that I was talking about is 79D. It is an awesome site. So I would highly recommend that. It's by far my favorite site we've ever stayed at. Here we're back down to the main. This is right at the bottom of that hill that we came down at first. So we're gonna go ahead and turn left, and I want to show you. We have a nice big bathhouse here. Nice clean bathhouses. There's going to be a basketball court over here on the left, and you can see a pool. We'll show a better view of that here in a minute, but there is also a pool. There is also a camp store, because it's actually, as soon as I was done filming this video, I had to come back down to this camp store right here to buy ice, actually. Another playground for the kids. And then I'm going to pull into this parking lot over here, which is actually a golf cart parking lot, which I thought was kind of funny. And as you guys saw in the Holiday World video, there was also a golf cart parade, so you'll see a lot of decorated golf carts. But you can see the pool here in front of us. Again, I just love that there's this little golf cart parking lot. And there is also a small water park off to the left there. It's kind of difficult to see, but it is there kind of behind that building. This is another bathhouse. Okay, so there's actually a slightly better view of the little water park that they have there with the water slides. And there's also some family restrooms here. And we're going to jump up the hill now, drive through this gigantic parking lot. And then I'll take you up to the site that we're staying at. And with my brother's cabin is directly across the street from our site. So we were all able to get three camper sites right next to each other, and then also my brother's cabin is right across the street, so we were all able to camp and stay close to each other. We're gonna go ahead and get back onto the road here. Now, all of the roads here are named after they're all Christmas themed. So we have Dasher Court. These cabins that you see coming up the hill, these red and white cabins, these are all brand spanking new. Actually, when we were here last year, they were actually installing the skirting around them, so that's how new they are. They've been there less than 2 years at this point. But come around the bend, and you can see that blue truck. That's my parents' camper. My brother is in the second cabin. My brother-in-law and sister are at this site here that is currently empty that I'm getting ready to pull into, and you can see our site right there with the gray truck. And our site is 295D.
Anyway, everybody, that is our tour of Sun Outdoors Lake Rudolph. I hope you enjoyed. I want to thank you all very much for watching. You have an absolute wonderful rest of your day. You're getting ready to go to bed. You have a good night's sleep, and I'll see you on the next one.